We do want to bring in national trial attorney Michael Jaafar to talk about what we're seeing here. Michael, I would like to get your initial reactions to these motions, but even just a bigger question here. You see Karen Read's attorneys, they are really advocating for her, putting forth these legal arguments. This takes time, this takes energy, a lot of research. Then you could have someone else that's accused of a crime. They have the public defender who has a huge caseload, doesn't have this kind of time to put into the case and serve as great as an advocate as Karen Read has here. It kind of shows the unfairness sometimes of our criminal justice system.
You know what I was wondering? I'm glad you brought that up, Kelly. You know what I was wondering when he was making his oratory? Who's paying for all this?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so you're thinking the same thing. Where's the funding? I mean, that's some high-end legal work. You know, corporate defendants have that. Corporations have attorney. You know, when you're on the civil docket, you see attorney. Every single motion hearing looks just like this in the you know, corporate dockets, right? You rarely see it in the criminal dockets. I've got to assume that there's funding coming from them. Those are some high-powered lawyers making some high-powered arguments. He's filing motions that are diving into the depth of the legal jurisprudence in Massachusetts, and he's trying to pierce several veils and accusing that the lead investigator for the state has had, you know, the communications he has had with other investigators should be given to the defense because of a vast conspiracy. I was on the show with Ted when this case first broke many months ago, not a year ago, but close to a year ago. And I was fascinated by it. That was the motion where he had brought up the picture of the cuts on the hand and said these are glass cuts, these are dog bites. These did not happen by somebody being run over by a truck, and that was the first time the public had heard that there was an argument that there was a cover-up. And at that point, I dismissed it. I said, "There's no way. I mean, a cover. I mean, you see this in movies. You don't see it like in real life. But it looks like this guy is really piercing the veil, and he's doing phenomenal legal work. I mean, you need a case like this every 10 years, I guess, to remind the public that, hey, sometimes there is corruption. It hasn't been proven yet. But yeah, those motions today, I started thinking, who's paying for all this? And I was researching it on my own, and I was like, wow, yeah, there's something that stinks here. And you know, I'm glad he's fishing into it. Look, he might be wrong. There might be no cover-up. This might end that way, and we will still look back at the work he's done in this case, and other investigators in other cases will look at it and say, you know, let's take a page from what could happen if we are not careful in our investigation. An attorney like this could pop up and expose it. Let's walk the line carefully. So there's a lot of downstream ramifications by what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. There is a Karen Read Legal Defense Fund that you're welcome to contribute to. And you remember back when she wanted her bail money back when she was dropped down to a signature bond because, and one of the arguments was to pay for this defense. So that's where some of the money's coming from. But to your points, it's expensive if you're going to put on a defense like the one that we're witnessing.